Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Carrie and this is Keep It Simple DIY, and today I am out in my garden. So I am going to give you a garden tour, and we are actually going to get to harvest our very first thing this year, and it's going to be some lettuce that was volunteer from last year. So let me flip you around and show you how it's looking. This section right here is where I have my peppers and onions, and we got a ton of hail. This hail took out a lot of my tomatoes and flooded everything for days and days. So realistically, I'm glad that these are still here, but they're not looking great. They're looking like they've had too much water. I'm hoping that it'll dry out soon, but we keep having rain, so it's not drying out. I've got the calla lilies that are doing great here. And then this is the volunteer potato. And I put a ton of different things in this bed that I had never grown before, so I can't exactly tell what's weeds and what's not. There are turnips and rutabagas, and I don't even remember what all. Pak choy, kohlrabi. So we're just going to wait and see on this before I start going. Like, I'm pretty sure most of this stuff here is weeds, but I want to just make sure first. Like these here, I'm pretty sure that's a weed. Over here though, one thing that doesn't mind all the flooding is the potatoes. These have gone crazy. So we will see how these go at the end of the year, but potatoes are looking fantastic. Spinach is coming along fine. And then I do believe I started some cilantro over on the far right side of this bed. The spinach, some of it you can tell where like the hail just beat through it. So it's coming back little by little. It looks like I didn't get great germination with it, but we're surviving. And then this bed looks like there's not really anything going on. Actually, this is one where I had cilantro, so maybe these little guys might come up and be some cilantro. But I do have some squash way out here. You can see a squash plant. And then there's another one to the left of it, about right there. But I did put two different types of squash plant in, yellow and green, and those two were one type and the other type was closer in, like here. And I don't remember which ones those are, but the other two did not germinate. Looking out at the whole view of the yard, a few things didn't come back. The trees did not come back, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them. But over here, this was blackberry bare root plant. It's just a twig. It needs to come out. I'm going to probably return that if I can. I'm still surprised with my blueberries that they came back. They're not looking fantastic. I mean, really, the hail just got everything. So hopefully that'll stay good. The hibiscus is coming back just fine. And then over here, this is a blackberry bare root plant, just like that other one that didn't grow, but it actually is doing great. It has another shoot that came from the roots. At least I think that's what that is, and it's looking good. You can definitely tell this light green that it's been completely overwatered, and that's just been everything. I actually should put that in there. I haven't had the water running because it's been raining so much, but these will all be very happy to be dried out. And then it looks like we are just, oh, there's my shadow. It looks like we're just getting ready to get some little buds. It's hard to see. Little buds on my raspberry plant. Okay, got attacked a little bit by that one. Here's where I have a question for all of you. My raspberries are growing really well, but all of these are new canes, and none of my canes from last year have any raspberries on them or any leaves at all. And so my assumption is that the new canes will grow and then the second year they'll produce. Well, all of these other canes, this is their second year, and so I'm wondering why they're not growing too. What am I doing wrong? How do I get this to actually produce fruit? Last year was the first year I was able to get canes to produce out of it. It's been here for like 5 years and haven't gotten any raspberries. Just like the blackberries, my blueberries, only one of the plants survived. So this one, I will have to find something else to go there. But my grapes are doing well. This first grape is a little bit more tame. We've got tons of little grapes started here and then down here. And hopefully we get even more of these. I can tell along these buds that some of them are still coming. And then right underneath I do have 2 watermelon plants. I just bought it from the store and there were 2 and I figured one can go one direction, one can go the other. This plant definitely needs to be tamed. It's another grape tree bush, grapevine. It's a vine. It just looks like trees and bushes and everything. I'm waiting to come in and prune because I'm not sure how much of this is going to come back, and I don't want to prune like the best looking cane that comes up if I'm going to need it. But I do have one that came back right here, so we're doing well. Oh, you know what? I lied. That other plant that we saw right there next to the grapes is cantaloupe. This is the watermelon. So watermelon's doing okay. It's loving all the extra water. Hibiscus is coming back. And then this here is the sugar pie pumpkins, and it just sprouted. I did put, I think, 2 seeds in here and only one has sprouted, but it just sprouted. So hopefully we will get another sugar pie pumpkin to sprout, and then we'll have a bunch. I would like to can it if I can. Every year I at least make a pumpkin pie with the pumpkins that I grow. And then I put some butternut squash in this bed, and there's only, well, let's see, 1 came up right there. Looks like I might be getting some other things to sprout in this bed. Oh, right here. And this is year 2 of having asparagus, and it looks like this is the only asparagus that's up. So I'm kind of just holding my breath. Is that even an asparagus or is that a weed? I can't tell. I have to go look up what an asparagus looks like. That could just be a weed. We live in a very like tumbleweedy area. I only planted 3 corns this year, but all 3 have come up, so that's fantastic. I've found that, I don't know, corn, it's hit or miss. So I figured let's get enough to hopefully get some for fresh eating, and then we'll call it. Here, the volunteer lettuce, this is what we need to harvest today. And our other volunteer lettuce is down here in the rocks. But this bed has carrots planted out, and it's coming up spotty, but we are getting some carrots. So once I know exactly where they've come up, I am going to decide what to do with the extra space in the bed. And then over here, we're doing pretty okay with, oh, a bug. With the green beans. Green beans are coming up pretty well. Now I did plant all the areas, so there's some patchiness that where we didn't have germination. And all the onions that are in here are just volunteers because this is where my onion bed was last year. I decided not to move them because I figured they'd do better, and this one's already bulbing, which is pretty cool. This bed is my pea bed, same thing. I did fill the whole bed, and it looks like we have some spotty germination. This area back behind that sprinkler head, though, I did see a bunny, so perhaps the bunny has been snacking on my peas. And then this is a first for me. I think they're either radishes or beets. I'm pretty sure these are radishes. I've never grown them before, but we're doing really well. The germination was very spotty, of course. That's kind of how it's been going out here, but we're getting little radishes to form. Now here's my most sad area. I planted out 9 tomato plants, 5 of them in these 5 spots, and then I planted some over here. I planted 2 here and then 2 down there. This 4th one didn't live, so I moved one over, and then that didn't live, and I moved another one over, and that didn't live. So then I was like, okay, I'm not moving another one until they're stronger. But then we got pummeled with hail, and so I lost all of the ones that were over there left, which there was, I think, 2 left, or maybe 1 had died before. Regardless, all of them from over there are not here anymore. I have 3 that survived decently. I mean, it has seen better days. I mean, look, these leaves have just been trashed, but the new growth is actually looking very healthy, which is promising. So that plant's going to come back and be just fine so long as it doesn't, get pummeled with hail again. And that's a Constantino Genovese. And then this one here is a moneymaker, and same goes. I mean, pummeled with hail, way too much water, and now we're kind of starting to get to the point where it's not that bad. It's got fertilizer on it because I fertilized earlier today. This one though is interesting. This is, I forgot what they're called, but they're the ones that are really pink. And you can barely see it here. It's growing on its side. So what happened was it broke during the hailstorm and I just left it there. And I know that tomatoes will root all along their stem, no matter where it is. So it started growing here, so I realized it was still alive. And then today I just came in and I transplanted it so that this stem was actually facing up. So hopefully we'll get some growth coming up. And then I've got one little tomato over here that's just, I call it a home tomato. It's from 2017's garden, I think. I just saved some seeds. I don't remember what I saved them from. Hopefully it's a cherry tomato because those are delicious and I haven't had any in a while. And I just planted 3 seeds in this today with unknown varieties, and I'm hoping that one of them will stick. So that's the general overview. Let's come back over here to the lettuce and do our first harvest of the season. You know, this one I'm actually just going to pull the whole thing up because it is in my rock. Okay. There's that. Where do I want to stick this? I'm just going to stick that in the garden. I'm just going to, instead of letting this become a whole big head of lettuce, just come in here and cut off and hope that it grows back. So this lettuce will need to be really washed. I mean, I've got tons of like wood shavings in there, and some of this is just kind of a disaster from the hail. The hail was terrible. Okay, these pieces I'm just going to just take them off there. All right, first harvest of the season. Alrighty, and here we have it, our first harvest of the season, and it is the end of the first week of June. And I will keep you guys updated as the growing season goes. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will be posting more garden tour videos as we go through the season, so you'll definitely want to be subscribed and hit the notification bell so you can see all of that. If you happen to know what I'm doing wrong with my raspberries, please leave a comment down below and let me know so I can be more successful with that. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.